Structured data, unstructured data. What's the difference between this? Which means non-standardized data formats. Structured is a standardized data, right? Data formats, whereas it is unstructured, non-standardized data format. Simple and highly rule-based, whereas here complex and less rule-based. Human intervention for handling unexpected exceptions, whereas in case of handling exceptions without human intervention, which means it will be able to handle the errors without the human intervention. So these are the main differences between the traditional as well as the cognitive RPA. Now let us move to the hyper automation. What is this? This is more advanced compared to the cognitive. It's a complete approach to the intelligent automation. It's a combination of technologies which can automate complex and end-to-end business process. It can automate process across multiple systems, applications, as well as the data sources. So it is a statistic approach beyond the basic RPA. By combining multiple technologies are used here, and it is optimized for a wide range of business process. Okay, so this is about the hyper automation. So multiple technologies are involved here, and AI, ML, and the process mining, and we can integrate various tools as well. Okay, some of the use cases here is the understanding the documents using the OCR. I think she was explaining, Aishwarya was explaining about OCR, right? So optical character recognition, understanding emails using NLP, forecast stocks and automate the restocking. When you talk about the voice-based, that is unstructured data, even that understanding emails using the NLPs, these are some of the cases where we prefer to go with the hyper automation. So what are the key benefits of this going ahead with the hyper automation is, again, productivity, efficiency is improved, accuracy and consistency, very good decision making can be done with the help of hyper automation, and it reduces the cost. Scalability is good actually, and customer experience is very good in this case. While this offers significant benefits, there are certain limitations to go ahead with the hyper automation, because it involves various technologies, so the architecture is a bit complex, right? Implementing automation using this hyper automation, it is more cost, and change management, data and security has to be considered here. In case of this, since we are using huge amount of data, security is a concern here. Okay, so it is very good technology when it comes to the end-to-end business process. So this is about the hyper automation. What are the tools for robotic process automation? We have Infosys Nia Assist Edge, which is developed by the Infosys to take care of some of the automation tasks, and Automation Anywhere, Blue Prism, as well as the UiPath. These are some of the tools which is currently available in the market for RPA. So our UiPath has a wide range of features, and it is very user-friendly interface, and it is scalable as well, because it is usually popular for drag and drop functionality for the developer tools. And Automation Anywhere is again another web-based interface, easy to use, and it has strong cognitive RPA capabilities. It is very well suited for organization using for a user-friendly platform with built-in AI features. And Blue Prism, it's again a robotic security features are existing in this tool, and especially used for enterprise-grade scalability. Okay, especially large organization with complex automations, we go for Blue Prism. And Infosys Nia, it is our in-house tool where we have been already using this currently. For example, as in Infosys, if you would like to reset the password, then I need not contact any of the helplines. It is purely automated. You can reset your password by just giving a call to the help desk, right? So there are other RPA tools apart from this. These are four major ones. There is a Microsoft Power Automate, NICE robotic process automation, Jacquard Workbench. There are other tools in the market as well. So the right tool, to choose the tool for the automation, you need to be more specific with the needs and the priorities. Then you can go ahead and choose the tool. Probably the scalability, technical expertise, security features, and integration capabilities. All these things need to be considered while you're going to choose the particular right tool for the automation task. It is always better to do the demos of different tools or reviews before going ahead with using of these tools. Next, come to the what are the features of these tools? It should be able to interact with the various systems either through the screen scraping or API integration. It should be able to make the decisions and determine its actions based on the inputs gathered from the other systems. It should have an interface to program the board. These are some of the features of the any RPA tool, basic RPA tool. Okay. Now, this in this slide, you can see the various parameters are considered in order to choose the right tool. For example, UiPath is there, automation environment Blueprism, community version it's available, and evaluation version is so and so. This is more here, UiPath, and different types of robots, front end and back end, and here only back office robots can be used. Macro reader, no recorder available here. Accessibility, mobile and web browser, these are all application based. You cannot use it for the web browser. And process designer, visual process based, script based, which means you have to write a script, then only you will be able to use the automation here. It is a visual based in the sense that UI based. Prerequisites, visual basics is required, moderate level of programming skills are required. Here only beginner level will do. Okay. Pricing based on the application per bot. So this is how the vendor will start charging for us when you would like to try to automate any of your tasks. So you need to consider all these things into considerations before we automate any of this task. So let's come to the conclusion here. We have come to the end of this summary of this RPA. You have understood what's the need for RPA. You have understood what are the key features, what are the business potential, and various processes which are suitable for RPA. We have gone through some of the components of RPA and the domains in which RPA can be implemented, the use cases. We have discussed about the use cases where RPA can be implemented and the various RPA tools and the platforms available in the market. This is about the introductory part of robotic process automation. So this completes today's session. In case of any queries, all these things are available in the course. I would recommend you to, I think Prithvi has already shared the link in the chat window. So hope...
Not yet, ma'am. I'll share it right now. Please stay tuned. Don't leave the session. I'll just share the link.
Selenium, one of the queries, Sonam Lingayat, Selenium is different from RPA. Selenium is an automation, testing automation.
It's a testing tool, yes.
Okay. So thank you for all the participants who have been part of today's session. Would request you to take up the assessment, go through the complete course once again. So what are and there are some scenarios with respect to using different tools there. Please go through it. I think that will help you to have a better clarity on RPA as well. So in case if you are interested to go in-depth concepts, there are many more courses available. Please go through those courses as well along with this. Right? I hope it is informative and useful for you all. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Girija ma'am, for the session. There are lots to learn in RPA. RPA involves both API and UI as well, that is user interface and application program interface too. There are a lot of courses on that as well on this platform. As ma'am explained, the principles and the best practices that we use, please focus on that also. There are different course material available for that also, and RPA uses this enterprise relationship management and supply chain and customer service management as well. So there are a lot of courses on that particular part also on the platform. So you can look for robotic process automation, which is the course that we have dealt with today. It is Introduction to Robotic Process Automation. Look for that on Infosys Springboard, and also I have given you the link as well. I'll post it once again. It's a 4-hour, 20-minute course. There are lots of terms and terminologies that we came across. So please go through the course once again. It's explained in detail with lots of examples and illustrations. Yeah, and thanks, Vaidehi ma'am. She says that the explanation was precise and helped both. Both the topics are really good. As I initially introduced, automation cannot happen and it cannot replace humans. It can just replace the normal thinking or the thoughts. It is just to make to drive the process more easier, faster, the repetitive task or the mundane task that we do. So we at Infosys Springboard are providing you this opportunity to skill up and to retrain yourself. I read this somewhere. We should focus more on redeployment of skills rather than thinking of unemployment because of the technology and the innovations. I think we should focus on shifting our skills and to retrain ourselves. Redeployment of our skills and our talent is more important. So let's focus on that. Let's continue learning through Infosys Springboard and elsewhere as well. So learning is always continuous. So we hope to see the completion of all the courses, the prerequisite courses for the certification program. That is AI Foundation certification as well as AI Primer certification. So there are totally 5 courses which you need to complete. One is Introduction to Artificial Intelligence, then Natural Language Processing, uh, Deep Learning, Computer Vision, and Robotic Process Automation. Along with this, there is a prerequisite study which is on data science as well. So these are the prerequisites. Please complete these prerequisites and then put in your take up the certification program, which is AI Foundation certification and AI Primer certification. Alaikya and the team, I'll be sharing you the links for all of these courses and certification. I request you to please share it with the participants as well.
Sure, Pradesh, sure. We'll share.
Yeah, the Nupur says there is something that I wanted to say at the end of the class. That's all I wanted to say. Let's shift our skilling process. Let's let's think of redeployment of our talent and skills by learning and not worry about unemployment because of the technology. Let's embrace the technology at the same time and think of sustainability of the use of technology as well. So thanks once again for joining in. By when do we have to take the certificate exam? We request all of you to finish these certification prerequisite courses as well as the certifications before the 23rd of May. Next session will be on agile methodology, which is yet another interesting session. Wherein you will be learning about the agile way of working. So that's another interesting session, which is on the 23rd of May. So continue your learning and complete your courses and your certifications by then, so that you will have 2 proctored certifications in hand. See you all once again on 23rd of May with yet another interesting session on agile methodology. So thanks once again, and Aishwarya for facilitating the session, and all the team of Harshakti for joining in and coordinating the program as well. Okay, there's one question here. What is the difference between a certification and a certificate of achievement? Okay, let me answer this question. There are 2 kinds of certificate that you obtain. One is the course completion certificate, which you will earn on passing the courses assessment of the course. The pass percentage for course assessment is 60 and above. If you pass the course with 60 and above, the course assessment with 60 and above, you will be earning a course completion certificate. Hope that is clear. And there is no limitations in the number of attempts. Please do not take multiple attempts. Go through the course completely. I'm definitely 100% sure you will be able to clear the assessment as well. Similarly, there's one more certification called as the Certificate of Achievement, which you can earn by clearing the proctored certification program. I'll give in detail description in the mail to Harshakti and team so that they'll be passing on the same information to all of you. Any other doubts? No worries, Kushbu. You can retry the assessment for natural language processing once again. As I told you, please completely go through the course. I'm 100% sure you'll be able to understand. It is very well illustrated like a layman's language. So you'll be able to understand, thoroughly go through the course material and then take up the assessment.
Okay, Prithvi. Thank you.
Thanks, Alaika, and thanks, team.
Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you all. Thank you so much. Ladies, if you have any queries regarding this, we have given you the email ID also. Regarding this, please reach to that email ID, and you can also reach to me or Abneet. Okay. And after Prithvi has shared the links and all, we'll share with you. And your next session is on 23rd, right, Prithvi? Agile methodology.
May, same time, 11 o'clock. Please
Yes.
be sure that you are logging in 10 to 15 minutes prior to the session time, which is 11 a.m.